The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Classification Council fell silent as the final vote was cast. Thousands of representatives from across the known universe watched as the holographic display changed from flashing red to a calm blue. After centuries of debate and observation, the decision was final. Earth's danger rating had been officially downgraded. The motion passes with 87% approval, announced High Counselor Vex, his 6 eyes blinking in sequence. Earth is hereby reclassified from extreme caution to minimal threat status. All travel restrictions and trade embargoes will be lifted within one standard cycle. In the human section, James Wilson sat quietly. Unlike the other representatives with their elaborate robes and ceremonial armor, he wore a simple black suit. His expression remained neutral as murmurs spread throughout the chamber. Only the slight upward curve of his lips hinted at any reaction. Counselor Wilson, called Vex, would the Earth representative care to make a statement on this historic occasion? James stood slowly, his movements measured and deliberate. At 6 feet tall, he was shorter than many of the alien representatives, yet somehow commanded attention. "The people of Earth thank the Council for its wisdom," he said, his voice steady and calm. "We have worked hard to prove ourselves worthy of the galaxy's trust. This reclassification will open new doors for peaceful exchange between our worlds." Several delegates nodded approvingly. The Protean ambassador waved her tentacles in the traditional gesture of goodwill. Even the notoriously suspicious Tark delegation seemed satisfied. "Earth has indeed shown remarkable progress," remarked Counselor Brell of the Mercantile Alliance. "Their wars have decreased by 73% in the last century. Their space expansion has been cautious and respectful of established boundaries. Perhaps we misjudged these humans." James nodded graciously at each compliment, his blue eyes revealing nothing. After the session ended, he walked alone through the crystal corridors of the council station. Other representatives passed by, some offering congratulations, others simply observing with newfound curiosity. Humans were now less of a mystery, and seemingly less of a threat. Once inside his private chambers, James locked the door and activated the security field. The sophisticated anti-surveillance system hummed to life, creating a bubble where not even the most advanced council technology could listen. He removed a small device from his pocket and placed it on the desk. A holographic screen appeared, displaying the face of a woman with gray hair and stern features. "Admiral Reed," James said quietly. "It's done." The council voted to downgrade Earth. The woman's expression remained unchanged. Any opposition? The usual suspects. The Tarks, the Moravian cluster. They were outvoted. Admiral Reed nodded slightly. "And the access protocols. Already being updated. We'll have unrestricted movement through all major systems within 30 days. The trade agreements will follow." "Excellent work, Counselor." For the first time, the Admiral's face showed a hint of satisfaction. The deception has held for over 50 years. They still have no idea what humans are truly capable of. James glanced at the window overlooking the vast space station. Alien dignitaries moved about, celebrating the new era of harmony. "They think they've studied us thoroughly, but they've only seen what we wanted them to see." "Phase 1 is complete," said Reed. "Begin Phase 2 immediately. You have the full support of Earth Command." James smiled, no longer hiding his true feelings. "They took the bait, Admiral. The universe thinks they figured us out, that we're just another harmless species eager to join their community." "And when they learn the truth?" Reed asked. James turned back to the window, watching the aliens who had so confidently downgraded Earth's threat level. His smile faded. "By then," he said softly, "it will be too late." The transmission ended, leaving James alone in the silence of his chambers. Outside, the galaxy celebrated a more peaceful classification for the small blue planet called Earth, completely unaware of what that planet had planned. The first alien delegation arrived on Earth just 3 weeks after the reclassification. Their sleek silver ship descended through clouds above Washington, D.C., landing with barely a sound on the newly constructed interstellar welcome platform. News cameras captured everything. Billions of humans watched as tall, purple-skinned Navari ambassadors stepped onto Earth soil for the first time without the heavy security that had marked previous visits. "This is truly a new beginning," said President Morgan, shaking hands with Ambassador Lith. "Earth welcomes the opportunity for open exchange between our peoples." Behind the president stood Admiral Thomas Reed, dressed in a simple military uniform with minimal decorations. Unlike the smiling politicians, his face remained serious. Only those who knew him well would notice how his eyes carefully studied each alien visitor, missing nothing. Within months, the trickle of visitors became a flood. Ships from 17 different star systems entered Earth orbit. Trade agreements were signed daily. Alien technology, carefully restricted during Earth's dangerous classification, now flowed more freely. "They're so generous," Professor Lisa Martinez whispered to Admiral Reed during a demonstration of TARC medical equipment. The two stood at the back of a crowded university hall, watching as alien physicians showed human doctors how to operate glowing devices. "Generous with outdated technology," Reed replied quietly. "Notice how they never explain how anything actually works, just which buttons to press." Lisa nodded slightly. As Earth's leading xenobiologist, she had spent decades studying the scraps of alien biology data available before the reclassification. Now, samples and specimens arrived daily at her lab. "Room 7 is ready for the next group," she said, checking her tablet. "Full scanning equipment in place." "Any problems with the previous specimens?" "None. They never suspect the air sampling or the detailed scans we run during their standard medical checkups." She smiled. "Operation Trojan is proceeding perfectly." Across the globe, similar scenes played out. In Beijing, alien engineers helped design new power systems. In Nairobi, extraterrestrial agricultural experts shared farming techniques. In Rio, cultural exchanges brought alien art and music to eager human audiences. Everywhere, humans appeared humble, grateful, and technologically inferior. At the United Nations Extraterrestrial Affairs Complex, James Wilson had returned from his council position to oversee Earth's diplomatic response. His office walls were covered with star charts marking alien homeworlds and colony systems. "Another delegation arriving tomorrow," his assistant said, entering with a stack of files. "The Zren Collective. They're interested in our ocean resources." James nodded. "Give them the standard tour. Full access to the public facilities only." "They're requesting visits to deep-sea research stations." "Declined. Site safety regulations." James tapped his desk thoughtfully. "Offer them the fish farming operations instead. That should distract them." After his assistant left, James secured his office and activated a hidden panel in the wall. It slid open to reveal a small communications room. The screen inside lit up, connecting to a facility far from Earth. "Commander Barnes, status report," James said. The face of Alex Barnes appeared, lunar dust visible on the shoulders of her uniform. Behind her, vast halls stretched into the distance, filled with spacecraft under construction. "Lunar Base Alpha at 87% capacity," she reported. "We've analyzed the Navari ship design. Their shield technology has 3 critical weaknesses our systems can exploit." "And the TARC weapons systems?" "Pathetic," Barnes said with a slight smile. "Their energy signatures suggest they believe our planet still uses nuclear fission for power." James nodded. "Keep your teams hidden. The official lunar base tours only show the research facilities. Of course, no alien has seen the true extent of our operations." Barnes hesitated. "How long do we maintain this charade, sir?" James looked at the star chart on his wall, now marked with dozens of new trading partners. "As long as necessary, Commander. Every ship that lands gives us more information. Every generous technology exchange reveals more about their capabilities." His eyes narrowed slightly. "For now, we remain the grateful, humble species that just wants to join the galactic community." "And when they learn the truth?" Barnes asked. Let's hope they never need to, James replied, though his expression suggested he expected otherwise. 200 feet beneath the lunar surface, Commander Alex Barnes strode through a corridor that officially did not exist. Her boots made little sound despite the metal flooring, one of many technological achievements kept hidden from Earth's new alien friends. Status report, she demanded as she entered the central command center. The massive chamber, carved from lunar rock and reinforced with materials no alien delegation had ever seen, bustled with activity. Dozens of officers monitored wall-sized screens showing everything from Earth orbit to the furthest reaches of the solar system. All systems normal, Commander, Lieutenant Parker replied, handing her a tablet. The Zren delegation that arrived yesterday still believes our deep space tracking capability extends only to Mars. Alex allowed herself a small smile. And our actual range. We're monitoring ships as far as the Kuiper Belt with precision targeting. Nothing comes into our system without us knowing exactly what it is. The commander nodded and moved to the central platform. With a gesture, she activated the holographic display that showed Earth's true military assets, a vast network that would shock the galaxy if revealed. Has the Council requested any updates on our defensive capabilities? She asked. Yes, ma'am. We sent the standard package. Outdated missile systems, limited orbital platforms, exactly what they'd expect from a minimal threat civilization. Alexa's eyes narrowed as she studied the display. Hundreds of stealth satellites orbited Earth, invisible to standard detection methods. Beneath every ocean, advanced submarines waited, capable of launching far more than the simple missiles the aliens believed were Earth's primary weapons. And here, beneath the lunar surface, the crown jewel, a fleet of spacecraft built with technology reverse-engineered from every alien vessel that had ever visited Earth. How's Project Phoenix coming? She asked, walking toward a sealed doorway at the far end of the command center. The lieutenant followed quickly, ahead of schedule. Dr. Hammond made a breakthrough with the propulsion system. The massive doors slid open, revealing a cavernous hangar. Inside, technicians swarmed over a sleek, dark ship unlike anything seen in public. Its hull absorbed light rather than reflected it, creating an unsettling void in the brightly lit space. Dr. Hammond, a thin man with perpetually rumpled clothing, looked up from his workstation. Commander, perfect timing. We're ready to test the phase shields. These are based on the Navari technology, Alex asked, running her hand along the seamless hull. Improved, Hammond corrected with barely contained excitement. Their shields can withstand energy weapons for approximately 70 seconds before failing. Ours, he paused for effect. 4 minutes and counting in simulations. And that's not the best part. He led her to the ship's interior, where the command center was being assembled. The navigational system incorporates elements from 7 different alien technologies. We've created something entirely new, a hybrid system no single species would recognize. Alex nodded approvingly. And they still think we're struggling to understand their outdated star charts. That's our greatest advantage, Hammond said, lowering his voice despite the security of their location. Every species shares just enough to appear generous while keeping their true capabilities secret. None of them realize we're taking each piece and completing a puzzle they don't even know exists. Later, in her private office, Alex received a secure transmission from Earth. James Wilson's face appeared on the screen, looking tired but satisfied. The Drax ambassador requested a tour of our best military facilities today, he reported. I showed him the Nevada base. He seemed quite impressed by our fighter jets. Alex couldn't help but laugh. The aircraft we retired 20 years ago. Precisely. He offered tactical advice on improving their combat capabilities. Very helpful. James smiled briefly before becoming serious again. The Council is beginning to discuss opening more protected systems to Earth vessels. They're debating whether to allow us access to the Centauri trade routes. Perfect, Alex replied. The more systems we're allowed to enter, the more data we can gather. There's something else, James added, his expression darkening. The Dracs are expanding their mining operations near Saturn. They haven't bothered to inform us. Alex frowned. Testing our boundaries. Perhaps, or simply not considering us important enough to consult. Either way, it's getting harder to maintain our facade of grateful innocence. How long until Operation Trojan is complete? James looked away briefly, considering. 6 months, minimum. We need more time. Then we'll continue the deception, Alex said firmly. The universe still has no idea what humanity truly is. And for now, that's exactly how we need it to stay. The mining colony on Europa had never been a point of contention before. Humans had established the small research outpost years ago, mainly to study the moon's subsurface ocean. The operation was modest by galactic standards, just 30 scientists and engineers living in pressurized domes beneath the icy surface. That changed when the Drax Empire discovered mineral deposits of extraordinary value nearby. They've landed 3 mining ships without permission, Admiral Reed reported during the emergency meeting. The Situation Room beneath the Pentagon was filled with Earth's highest military and political leaders. Over 200 Drax personnel and heavy equipment. President Morgan frowned. Have they responded to our communications? They sent this an hour ago, James Wilson said, activating the central display. The face of General Chorus of the Drax Empire appeared, gray-skinned with ridged bone structures framing his face. Your concerns are noted, humans. The recording played. However, the Europa region falls within Drax expansion territory, according to Galactic Council Section 87. Your primitive outpost can remain as a gesture of goodwill, but the resources belong to the Empire. We suggest you accept this reality. Silence fell across the room. Finally, Admiral Reed spoke. They're testing us. The Drax believe our minimal threat classification means they can simply take what they want. The President looked troubled. What are our options? Diplomatic channels through the Council would take weeks, James said. By then, the Drax will have established full mining operations. And our other option? The President asked quietly. Admiral Reed and James exchanged glances. We can respond directly, Reed said. Show enough strength to make them back down without revealing our full capabilities. Authorization granted, the President said after a moment of consideration. Minimal force only. Make it clear we're defending our territory, not starting a conflict. 3 hours later, in the cold vacuum above Europa, Commander Alex Barnes sat in the command chair of the U.S. Defender. The ship was officially classified as an escort vessel in Earth's registry with the Council, supposedly armed with only basic defensive capabilities. Drax mining vessels holding position, reported Lieutenant Parker. They've deployed security drones around their perimeter. Open a channel, Alex ordered. On screen, General Chorus appeared, looking annoyed at the interruption. Human vessel, you are interfering with Imperial operations. General. Alex replied calmly, you are operating illegally in Earth territory. The Europa outpost and surrounding area are under Earth jurisdiction. We request your immediate withdrawal. Chorus laughed, the sound harsh and metallic through the translator. Request denied. Your single escort ship poses no threat to our operation. Return to Earth and speak to your diplomats about proper compensation for these resources. Alex's expression didn't change. This is your final warning, General. Withdraw your forces now. Or what? Chorus sneered. Your ship's weapons can barely penetrate our shields. The reclassification revealed your true status, humans. You are not a threat. Very well. Alex nodded to her weapons officer. Targeted demonstration only. What happened next would be reported throughout the galaxy within hours. The Defender fired a single energy pulse, a weapon far beyond what Earth should possess. The pulse passed through the Drax shields as if they weren't there and precisely severed the main support structure of their largest mining drill. The massive equipment crashed to Europa's surface, breaking into pieces. No one was injured, but the message was clear. What? What was that? General Chorus demanded, his confidence visibly shaken. That technology is not registered in your council inventory. A recent development. Alex replied evenly. We have targeting solutions for all your vessels, General. The next demonstration won't be so gentle. Will you withdraw, or shall we continue this conversation? Within an hour, the Drax ships had departed. Back on Earth, James Wilson faced the emergency session of the Galactic Council with practiced humility. It was a desperate measure, he explained to the shocked representatives. A fortunate anomaly in our defensive systems. We merely sought to protect our people. But as the session ended, he noticed several council members exchanging troubled glances. The facade was beginning to crack. Earth's deception wouldn't hold much longer. News of the Europa incident spread through the galaxy faster than light-speed communications. The official report submitted to the Galactic Classification Council told one story. A minor border dispute resolved with minimal force. But in private chambers and secure communications, a different narrative emerged. Impossible, hissed Representative Morv of the Kilari Federation. No minimal threat species possesses weapons that can penetrate Drax shields. 4 major powers had gathered in secret aboard a diplomatic vessel in neutral space. The Drax, still smarting from their humiliation, had called this meeting. The humans claimed it was a fortunate anomaly. General Chorus said, his gray skin flushed darker with anger. A lie. Their weapon was precisely calibrated. They knew exactly what they were doing. The Tark ambassador clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. We have shared considerable technology with Earth since the reclassification. Perhaps they advanced more quickly than anticipated. Or perhaps, said the Zren collective leader, they have been deceiving us all along. The 4 powers spent hours reviewing every interaction with Earth since its danger rating had been downgraded. Patterns emerge. Humans always eager to receive technology, but strangely reluctant to allow deep inspections of their own facilities. Their questions always carefully crafted, their apparent weaknesses too consistent. We have been manipulated, General Chorus concluded. These humans must be put in their place before they become a genuine threat. The alliance was formed that day. Each power committed ships and resources to a joint fleet, ostensibly for a training exercise, but with a true purpose known only to the leadership. Show humanity its proper place in the galactic order. Back on Earth, Admiral Reed studied the report from their deep space monitoring network with a grim expression. They're not even trying to hide it, she told James Wilson and Commander Barnes in the secured underground command center. 4 hostile fleets converging near Neptune's orbit. The Council? James asked. Playing ignorant. They claim it's a scheduled military exercise. Commander Barnes pointed to the tactical display. 117 warships, including 27 Drax destroyers. This is no exercise. Admiral Reed nodded. It seems our time is up. The deception can't hold any longer. Operation Trojan isn't complete, James objected. We needed more time. Time is a luxury we no longer have, Reed replied. She pressed a button on the console, and her voice was broadcast to all Earth military commands worldwide. Initiation code, Thermopylae. This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations awakened. On Mars, massive hangar doors opened in what aliens had been told were natural formations. From Jupiter's moons, defense platforms emerged from beneath the surface. And from Earth itself, the true human fleet rose, ships that had never been registered with the Council or shown to any alien visitor. As the combined alien fleet approached Earth orbit, they received a transmission from Admiral Reed herself. Attention Allied Fleet. You have entered Earth-controlled space with hostile intent. This constitutes an act of war against humanity. Turn back now. General Chorus, leading the fleet from his command ship, laughed at the message. Transmit visual, he ordered his communications officer. When Reed's face appeared on his screen, he smiled with all 4 rows of teeth. Admiral, your bravery is admirable but misplaced. You face the combined might of 4 galactic powers. Your secret weapon may have surprised the Drax once, but it cannot save you now. Surrender Earth to our protection, and we will be merciful." Reed's expression remained calm. "You misunderstand, General. We're not threatening you. We're trying to save your lives." She paused. "Humans have a saying. We never start fights, but we always finish them." The first sign that something was wrong came when the alien fleet lost contact with their forward scouts. Then, their long-range sensors failed. Finally, they saw them. Hundreds of human vessels emerging from hiding places throughout the solar system, surrounding the alien fleet in a perfect 3-dimensional enclosure. "Impossible," whispered Chorus as targeting alarms blared across his ship. The battle lasted less than 20 minutes. The combined alien fleet, expecting to face a barely armed world, instead encountered a military force unlike anything they had prepared for. Human ships moved with impossible precision, their weapons bypassing shields that had protected alien vessels for centuries. Not a single human ship was lost. The alien fleet, decimated and in disarray, was forced into full retreat. As they fled, Admiral Reed's voice followed them. "Consider your lesson learned. Earth is not to be threatened again." The Galactic Classification Council chamber had never been so crowded. Representatives from every spacefaring civilization packed the massive hall, many standing because all seats were filled. The emergency session had been called with the highest priority alert, bringing diplomats rushing from across the galaxy. At the center of the chamber stood James Wilson, alone at the speaker's podium. Gone was his usual simple black suit. Today he wore a formal Earth military uniform, adorned with symbols no alien had ever seen before. "Representatives of the Council," he began, his voice calm despite the tension filling the room. "I come before you today to correct a misunderstanding about Earth and humanity." Angry shouts erupted from several sections, particularly from the Drax delegation. "Misunderstanding," roared General Chorus, now serving as the Drax representative. "Your forces destroyed half our fleet. The humans have been lying to us for decades." High Counselor Vex struggled to restore order, his 6 eyes blinking rapidly in distress. When the chamber finally quieted, he addressed James directly. "Counselor Wilson, you must explain how Earth concealed such military capability. This violates 17 Council regulations and the trust of every civilization here." James nodded. "I understand your concerns. What I'm about to share may be difficult to accept, but it's time for the truth." He activated the central display system, showing images of Earth's history. "Humans evolved on a world that tried to kill us daily," he began. "Predators, diseases, natural disasters. Survival was never guaranteed. When we weren't fighting our environment, we fought each other." The display showed ancient battles, world wars, the devastation of nuclear testing. "Our history is written in blood and sacrifice. For thousands of years, conflict shaped our development. Every technology, every advancement came from our need to survive against impossible odds." The council chamber remained silent now, all eyes fixed on the brutal images. "When we first detected signals from beyond our world, we were still fighting amongst ourselves. But the possibility of alien life united us in a way nothing else could, through fear." Several council members shifted uncomfortably. "You see, in every story humans told about meeting aliens, we imagined 2 possibilities. They would come as conquerors, or they would come in peace. We prepared for the first while hoping for the second." James paused, looking around the chamber. "When the Council first contacted Earth a century ago, we were classified as extreme caution without explanation. We were isolated, restricted, treated as dangerous without being told why. So we made a decision. The display changed to show Earth's hidden military installations. If the galaxy feared us without knowing us, we would show them what they wanted to see: a primitive, harmless species eager to join the galactic community. Meanwhile, we would prepare for the worst while hoping for the best." Counselor Vex leaned forward. "You deliberately deceived the Council." "We protected ourselves," James corrected. And consider this. Despite possessing the military power you've now witnessed, we never once used it aggressively. Not until we were directly threatened. The chamber erupted in whispers as this point registered. The Dracs attacked our outpost, James continued. The alliance formed against us planned an unprovoked assault on our homeworld. Yet our response was measured. We defended ourselves with minimal casualties. We could have destroyed those ships, but we chose to spare lives. He switched the display to show Earth's true technological achievements, not just military, but medical advances, environmental restoration techniques, and scientific breakthroughs. This is the truth about humanity. Yes, we are warriors when threatened. Our history made us strong, adaptable, and sometimes frightening. But that same history taught us the value of peace, the cost of conflict, and the importance of restraint. James looked directly at High Counselor Vex. We hid our strength not out of deception, but out of hope. Hope that we could join the galactic community as equals rather than as threats. Judge us not by the weapons we built, but by the fact that until provoked, we chose never to use them. As James finished speaking, the council chamber remained silent. The truth about Earth, both its power and its restraint, had finally been revealed. The galaxy would never see humans the same way again. 3 months after James Wilson's address to the Galactic Council, Earth looked different. The skies above major cities now held ships from dozens of worlds, but they were no longer just diplomatic vessels or trade transports. Military attaches, cultural exchanges, and scientific missions arrived daily, all seeking to understand the species that had hidden in plain sight. The council chamber on the massive space station had been remodeled. Earth's delegation now occupied a prominent position, no longer relegated to the outer ring where minor species sat. James Wilson walked through the corridors, noting how other representatives reacted to his presence, not with the dismissive politeness of before, but with careful respect. Counselor Wilson, called High Counselor Vex, approaching with several council leaders. The new classification protocol is ready for final review. James nodded and followed them into the private chamber. Inside, a holographic display showed Earth's new official status in the galactic database. Peaceful unless provoked, extreme caution, read James aloud. The first of its kind. As is Earth, replied Vex. We've created an entirely new category. Your people have forced us to reconsider many assumptions. The Tark ambassador clicked his mandibles. Never in council history has a species concealed so much while revealing so little. It is unsettling, yet admirable, added the representative from the ancient Eldar Confederation. Humanity showed remarkable restraint. They could have conquered many worlds with their hidden technology, but chose patience instead. James studied the new classification requirements. These security protocols seem extensive. A necessary precaution, Vex explained. Any species capable of what Earth has done must be carefully monitored. You mean any species capable of fooling the Council for decades, James said with a slight smile. The chamber fell silent for a moment before the Zren collective leader spoke. What troubles many of us, Counselor Wilson, is not knowing if there are other surprises waiting. Your people have demonstrated exceptional creativity. James considered this. The galaxy has seen our military capability. That was our most closely guarded secret. Was it? Asked the Drax representative, who had replaced General Chorus after the failed attack. Or is that merely what you wish us to believe? Rather than answer directly, James activated the chamber's display system. Perhaps it's time for a new approach. Earth proposes the Transparent Exchange Initiative. The display showed details of a comprehensive program, technology sharing, cultural exchange, and scientific collaboration between Earth and Council worlds. No more secrets, James explained. Earth will open its research facilities, its military bases, everything, in exchange for the same access to Council worlds. The representatives exchanged glances, clearly surprised by the offer. This is unexpected, Vex admitted. Many worlds will be reluctant to share so openly. As was Earth, James acknowledged. But we've learned that isolation breeds fear and misunderstanding. Perhaps trust must begin somewhere. Later that day, as the Council voted overwhelmingly to accept Earth's initiative, Admiral Reed's face appeared on James's private communicator. It passed, he reported. 85% approval. Reed nodded. And Operation Trojan, officially terminated. We're dismantling the hidden networks as promised. All of them. Reed asked, her expression carefully neutral. James smiled slightly. All that were included in our disclosure package. Reed nodded, understanding the unspoken message. Some precautions would remain, just as other species would undoubtedly keep their own secrets. 1 week later, the first joint diplomatic mission departed Earth. A team of human and alien representatives traveling to establish the new exchange protocols. As their ship prepared to leave orbit, a delegation of council leaders stood with James on the observation deck of Earth's orbital station. "Tell me, Counselor Wilson," said the Eldar representative quietly, "what else are Earth and humanity hiding from the galaxy?" James watched the ship disappear into faster-than-light travel, considering his answer carefully. "Let's hope we never need to show you," he finally replied. "But maybe now we can all be honest with each other." He turned to face the alien representatives. "The real question isn't what any of us are hiding. It's what we can accomplish together." As the alien leaders contemplated his words, Earth continued its rotation below them. A small blue planet that had forever changed its place in the universe. No longer underestimated, no longer isolated, but finally seen for what it truly was. A world of remarkable contradiction, capable of terrible destruction, yet committed to lasting peace. The danger rating had been corrected. Earth was finally understood. And the galaxy would never be the same.